What is going on, Lunatic Fringe? I hope you're having a great morning. My name's Bleaves, and guess what? Got some exciting news for you. Maybe it's exciting. I don't know. I'm going to show it to you. Make sure you hit that like button on the way in. Guys, between Juris Protocol, Garuda X, between Lunkverse, Terraport.finance, the Luna Classic ecosystem is starting to grow. And do you know what that means? That means that price action will follow. Now, it will take altcoin season to kickstart this, if you will. But once it does, then it'll be a snowball effect. And that snowball effect, it's going to be glory, okay? So sit tight, hold on, and let's check it out. But before we do, guess what? Believe. Last night, we had a massive buy come through. And guess what? That unbonded it. Now, that massive buy, as you can see from down here, was not me. My wallet is the SC wallet over here, holding 4.47% of the supply. But we did have an angel come in, pumped up, knocked it just out of the park. Just knocked it out of the, and then exited, and now it's unbonded. And to come see that it's unbonded, you go to Terraport.finance, go into the swap over here, choose right here, go into degen mode, and then just type in BLEEVE, and you will see that we are now unbonded and out into the wild, so you can buy, believe on Terraport.finance going forward, and you just pop in however much you want to trade, and it will find the pairing, whatever it is that you're trying to get, and boom, done. So thank you so much to you guys. Remember to go to Terraport.finance for all your crypto trading in the Cosmos Luna Classic ecosystem. Also, if you have not already, sign up today for Terra Casino. They are giving money away like crazy. Through the 29th, still 125,000 euros to give away. From June 20 to August 17, 1.126 million euros. Then we have Daily Madness. It's going to end in about 2 days, but $11,000 for Daily Madness. So what are you waiting for? Also, don't forget sports wagering. You want to bet on the Chicago Cubs to win? Of course you should. You want to bet on the Chicago White Sox to lose? Of course you should. Not because I like or dislike one of those teams, just because I read the news. So, sign up today. So now, why am I bullish? There it is right there. Secretary Scott Bessent said tariffs on China are now 30%, while Chinese tariffs on the U.S. are 10%. So, this right here represents potentially a really big move for the crypto market. Now, you got a bunch of different people out here. Of course, anybody who's in the group, they are going to say this is the greatest thing that's ever happened. This is just an example of winning. I'll be honest with you guys. What we're doing right now, the tariffs of 30% and 10%, go look at what we had before. And if you don't see any change, there's a reason. But we're celebrating this one. So, I mean, also, there's no big news, by the way. But USTC staking system for Terra Classic. This is a signal proposal from Vegas. By the way, I had comments in my comment section, people talking about USTC staking. So now we're talking about utilizing the USTC zombie pools to create a staking reward mechanism for USTC. And by the way, there's no reason to hold back anymore, despite that we have, because it's no longer a stable coin. And it looks like even if we do the market module and put it back together, that Juris Protocol, Redline Drifter, these guys are going to come out with their own sort of stable coin. So if that is the case, then that's going to be the third wheel, if you will, so that buying and selling and trading of USTC and Luna Classic then become done through a stable coin. And that's going to make it better and probably a better burn process. So stick with me on it. We should have more information in the coming days. Also, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know. First of all, freedom does not mean you have a cap on something. However, there are times when I feel like there are abusive practices, and those abusive practices cannot be assuaged in our current environment. And the reason I say that right now is because what you're talking about is all nodes has 13.37, hey, that's pretty elite, percent of voting power. Then you have these other guys as you go down the list here. Vegas node 7.17, Orion 5.49, KuCoin 5.1. Now, when you get past that, then it changes just a little bit. And by the way, the fact that all nodes has 13% of this is the most centralized thing you've ever seen. And by the way, let me also state for the record that Who do you think leases from all nodes along the way? Who do you think leases from all nodes along the way? Who do you think leases from all nodes along the way and is incentivized to do whatever all nodes really goes with? And by the way, I do know that all nodes generally waits until the end to make a decision, but still not a fan. And by the way, I want to give a shout out because some of these validators have been losing significant amounts of staked rewards every single day. Okay, you guys are stepping up and you are adding to the people who you think are better. 51 billion added to Vegas. What just happened there? Okay, that's a okay. Go Vegas. So anyway, 51 billion added to Vegas. Some of them losing, some of them gaining. And look, that's how we shift power. That's how power shifts come. That's how the dynamic changes. That's how we become better, is by getting getting it into the hands of the people who are going to vote the way we want. And by the way, I'm not saying that Vegas is going to vote the way that I want, or even all nodes. I'm saying that I'm going to validate with the people who do vote the way that I want, or the way that I believe this should go. I do think that there should be a stewardship of some sort, a leadership council of some sort. I do think that we need to have people front and center pushing in a certain direction, and we need to have a team dedicated to improving the overall quality of the ecosystem. The decentralized method, I'm sorry, have you seen this chart? The decentralized method is not working. Let's do it the Happy Caddy crypto way, if you will. And by the way, he's not, I don't think he's I think he's one of the people. I don't think that he's the reason. But that methodology of 100% pure decentralization, that ain't the way. That's not doing it. Could you completely change the policy and something like that later on? Sure, you can dissolve a council, if you will. You can do whatever, or give it a limited run and say that it has to be evaluated every year based on voting or something like that, on whether it should be renewed, or every 6 months for that matter. I mean, that seems like the simplest of ways to do it, right? It seems like that's going to be to the best. You would have safety rails and protocols in place, and nobody would have access to specific things. I don't know. Again, I think there has to be stewardship. There has to be leadership. There has to be a steering committee. There has to be something pushing in one direction and not all over the place. Not for the purpose of what you're building. If you're somebody like RexYZ or Vegas or Happy Caddy Crypto, build whatever you got to build, okay? But we need leadership, all right? It has to come along with that building. And at some point, we're going to have to recognize that if we want to grow up and we want to be back with the big dogs, okay? I know I said a lot about that, but I'm passionate about it. I think we should be doing. So read over this, decide for yourself what you think. Now, meme coins, we got a little bit of gain over here, but generally speaking, not a lot moving. And you might be asking yourself, why is that happening? Well, come down here and you can see we're down $3 billion on the day. Bitcoin down a little bit. You can see a little bit of pop off here. Solana up 2% on the day. SWI up 2% on the day. So it looks like major alt capped things above Ethereum XRP or around that same nature. Looks like they're popping off just a tiny bit. So, what to make of it? I think this is just a capital rotation, because you can see that there are some, it looks like altcoins that really want to run, and you never really know. But we should recognize at least, I want to show you something that's incredible right now. Circle. Remember, Circle was an IPO offering, and it was not that long ago, okay? This offering happened, what was the day here? June the 5th. From June the 5th, and the launch price at launch was $35 or 40 was the low was where do we find the low was $64. Went down, went up to, so the open was 60. I'm sorry, the opening was $69. Where is it now? Just 3 days ago, it was over 300. Close to 300. $299. And look at this, it's just absolutely running rampant. Investors moving in. Now there is a gap right here, just CME futures gap, that gap is going to be filled. So I would suspect that we're going to have a test down here into that 125 range. But guys, I want to say that as should be a lightning rod for you to recognize that it is only a matter of time, because there is a thirst for cryptocurrency, but most of it's centralized to Bitcoin. It's not going to stay that way. Once Bitcoin whales get rich all over again from this next big move, then that money is going to go into altcoins, and we are going to see an explosive recovery. Also, should be noted, looking at a few little pieces which should make you feel kind of good. Now, we're gonna need to address that coming down right there. Not great. That we need, we need something better than what we're seeing right there. So the 200 MA has got to flip bullish. Got to have some movement back that way. You can see it kind of did that, but it's slow. So what I'm saying here is we've got money flow. The bears are winning right now, but that is changing. It's moving up here. We're about to see a green day in the next day or two, it looks like, if the trend continues to the upside. RSI still has a lot of room to grow. RSI is not heated up at all. So what you've got is a powder keg moment where there is some exposure to a really, really significant rally. I do think that this 7 right here represents some resistance. So what I'd like to see would be something like, boom, get in here, test this range, run up, and then come back down for that retest, which is going to correspond right here with this 50 MA. It's at this point, it's just kind of right there. And then another big test up into it, taking us up into that 8,000 range, which is going to represent the next level of, hey, I'm going to sell off. And boom, we do the same all over again. At this point, of course, the 50 has started to move upwards, and then we start to see this happen. And we see that curvature, and then boom, we get that breakout. It looks like it's all lining up. And I could be reading too much into it. Guys, I got to be honest with you. You never really know what's going to happen. But for sure, when it goes down like that, you see downward pressure. Absolutely 100% for sure. But the other thing, when it flips over, and the 200 and the 50, which it looked like it's lining up to do some point really, really soon, okay? If that is the case, then there's going to be a big pop, and that's going to be that bullish narrative. When you see the crossover right there, huge move. When you see the crossover right there, huge move. When you see that continued cross right there, huge move. So what you're looking for is you're looking for signals, right? And well, this is a signal, and that signal says that maybe in a few days we're going to have something crazy start to happen. Now, it's a lagging indicator. It's not going to happen because of this, but people are going to notice a golden cross. I mean, a lot of people have tickers and alerts set up on TradingView that allows them to know when a golden cross happens and what projects. And when a golden cross does happen, which it will pretty soon, when that happens, you're going to see people get real excited, and you'll see some money start to enter Luna Classic to see how high they can run it. Can they trap people in? Remember, it's a speculative investment, so they're going to try to trap people in. So but that leads to a price pump, and that's what we're looking to see happen. Volume down on volume's up a little bit on USTC, but down on Luna Classic. Could actually be a good sign. Remember, I've got that flip going on. Also, by the way, guess what? We are unbonded over here, so make sure. Did I remind you of that? The second time now? This is the second time, isn't it? Yeah, we're unbonded. So go check out TerraPump.fun if you want to launch a meme coin, do something like that. Finally, burns, 365 million. You know, it's not enough. We need to have about 2 billion. Got a little bit of life yesterday, 32 million burns at the end of the day. So, but still running very, very light. Very, very light. So, we've checked retail out of what we're doing. And that's really what it comes down to. We've got a small amount of retail that's still trading on Binance, stuff like that. But here's what we need. We really need that Asian market to open up. And then we really need Do Kwon to have charges dropped or something like that. Like, there's a real strong possibility that we're going to see that happen. With the judge questioning the methods that they used, and that meaning the FBI, whoever's doing the investigation that arrested him, they're questioning the methods. There is a possibility charges get dropped on Do Kwon. If that happens, then he is free to start doing crypto stuff again. Will that happen in South Korea? Maybe not. He might be kind of, look, it's complicated, but there's a real possibility that things change dramatically on Terra Luna Classic in very, very short order. Do you want to be stuck not holding a bag? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And remember, it's not financial advice. Always right.